Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on April, it's a good question, 20th, 2024 at approximately 4:30 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use, and the philosophies of life I talk about are the same philosophies I guide virtually every move I make in. Now, with this in mind, I know these tools will work for you because they continue to work for me and literally thousands of others based on their own, with success levels based on their own personal efforts. That said, we are looking at literally healing you now. How do we go about it? How do we make it happen? This is, bear in mind, we are talking about healing in conjunction with any other modality you have me using that's working. Now, apparently my mind isn't working entirely correctly because I always miss something. We don't need that door open. Everybody's got skeletons in their closet. I just don't want you seeing mine. But when you take a look at the issue, okay, we have our first entry here. We have Steve Knox in with the gold. Steve, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I've been trying to find my stride to figure out what will make this stream tick. Okay, how to get it to stand out in a better fashion for people. And I did look at it. Now we have, coming right behind everything, we have Joseph Florenson in with the silver. Joseph, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I gotta find something. Where is it? It's over there. I'll get that in a minute. I do hope things are going well for you. Renee Andrews, you have the bronze. And I know I'm going to have something set there, but we are looking at changing your life today. What this means is if you've got a situation you're dealing with, especially in regards to the healing side of things, okay, this would be the day to focus on them. Now, I got a whole pile of work that I'm doing here, so I'm just going to drag this over here where I can work with it. There's my missing pad. See, I have this neat little problem. I have too many things on the go, and I am working to get through them. But don't need that. This one I want. This should be, that's February, March, April. So where the heck is May sitting right now? Well, I always have something on the go that's gone sideways, but we'll get to that a little later. In the meantime, the way things are going, okay, you've got an option. You can certainly live your life as you've been doing. That's your call. It won't have a lot of bearing on where my life goes. Okay, but I can tell you that if everything you've been doing is still not working the way that you'd like it to, now is the time to really focus on what works. If you're seeing a doctor, before I go any further, big issue here. Okay, LA, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Really big issue. And we're not going to go and try and do that accent. But when you look at the way the world is, if you're using modern medicine, okay, stay working with it. What I'm going to discuss today, what we're going to discuss tonight, is techniques to use to bolster what modern medicine does. And you'll love this one, it will also, as a natural side effect, lessen the amount of damage that modern medicine can do with the side effects. This said, if you're on a prescription medication, do not stop it unless the doctor that you're working with goes, hey, you don't require it anymore. Okay, and I know I shouldn't, you'd think, well, why would you have to specify that so much? Well, the reason is I made the mistake of saying things before, okay, and got my wrist slapped by YouTube. Now remember, they set the rules. I've got to work within them. This doesn't mean I can't give you a technique. Now, the first thing you got to realize is this. Okay, the first question you got to ask is, number one, who are you striving to heal for? For instance, are you striving to get your health straightened out because the doctor said, because a doctor or a loved one has said, you got to quit this behavior or you're going to die? If you're doing it for somebody else, okay, the odds are it's going to take a lot more focused concentration. If you're doing it because you desire to end the suffering you're going through for yourself, yes, I am giving you not only permission, but direct guidance to be selfish in this fashion. When you're looking at your personal health, okay, we are talking about selfish behavior for healing for nobody but yourself. Now understand, okay, I'm putting my health back together because I've tried the route of going through modern medicine. That was a botch job across the board. Since I took control of my own life, since I changed the energy flow around it, okay, I'm in better physical shape than I have been in 30 years. You too can have the same outcome, but it's up to you. And like I said, step number one is literally ask who you're doing it for. Then you come to this little issue. Okay, this neat little sign. I am worth it. Most powerful combination of 4 words I've found in any language at all that I've ever come across. Okay, it is the most effective combination for self-awareness, self-esteem, self-worth, self-productivity, you name it. If it's got to do with you, those 4 words taken to heart will absolutely help put things in position. Now, let's go back to the first part of this. I'm not going into a lot of depth. Yesterday, we covered a lot in the way of mentality. But literally, it boils down to this. In order to heal, it's not just one aspect. Okay? For instance, if you've got a problem with your eyesight, okay, which needless to say, mine is not perfect. But what would be 17 years ago, okay, my eyesight was literally so bad that if I held my glasses right there, I couldn't see them. Okay, now my eyes are still screwed up. But understand, when I was about 14, I took a trailer hitch to my right eye and tore the cornea open on it. Ever since then, I've had to wear glasses. Who knows whether I would have had to as I got older, if I didn't take the trailer hitch first. But let me ask you this, and absolutely, if you've got a medical problem or a mental problem, and I literally mean a focal problem, I don't mean we're going to go into curing a big thing tonight, such as, oh, I'm suffering from type 4 cancer and my lungs are about to collapse. Can you help? It's technically possible, but I will tell you, the one time I tangled with it head on, I was literally at the person's bedside. I was at their bedside and they were in a coma. So, is it possible? The answer is yes, but let's deal with the easy parts. If your weight is oversaturated in your eyes, that's easy to turn around. Getting your motivation up, getting the energy flow around you running properly, absolutely. Okay, when we are dealing with some of these simple issues, I call them simple, as in you've got problems with migraines, you've got problems with muscle spasms, this sort of thing. There now, you always, well, not always, if you're that way inclined, turn to the normal methods first. I am not the herbalist to deal with. Okay. I'm not an herbalist. I'm not a researcher. And I sure as heck I'm not a licensed doctor. And this is why I say, if you're seeing a doctor, stay dealing with them. Kind of important at this point. Now, some of you have mentioned that you're suffering from, that you've been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. Now, this is a mental misfire. It's an overcompensation. In all fairness, that falls under the category of what cancer is, which is an overaction on a natural biological function. But let's start with the easy one. Are you yourself, in your eyes, a professional procrastinator, as in never do today what you can put off until tomorrow? Okay, I'd ask for a show of hands, but somehow I think we're missing part of that equation. Okay, but if you are, this neat little method I work with, where is this one? Okay, I've showed you this before. I keep a list of the things I've got to deal with. Now, I do believe this is live stream that we are on at this point. 1, 2, 3. I managed to get 15 things done, and on my list right now, I've still got 9 more left. But this gives you an idea how quickly that list can work, because it helps keep me focused, and thereby gets the energy moving in the right direction. Now, the first thing we look at, well, the next thing we look at, I've shown you this neat little trick. Take your hands, put that, I don't care, you don't have to believe this. That's the neat part about this. If you never experienced it, give it a shot. Okay, but I will warn you, if you go, it's absolutely going to work. Okay, you may imagine something you're not quite feeling. If you go, there is no way it's going to work. You will likely disregard anything you actually do feel. Okay, so you literally look at it and you put your hands like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch apart. Don't worry about the measurement on the screen because I have no idea. Okay, but when you separate your hands, you're going to feel some sort of energy between your hands. Now, somebody in the audience is going to look at that and go, oh, this is just the power of suggestion. Maybe, but think of it this way. It has been proven time and again for literally centuries when a doctor gives you a placebo medication, as in a sugar cube, to reduce your cholesterol. He tells you it's a cholesterol reducer. If you believe it, your body will respond. By the way, conversely, if you believe that peanut butter is definitely toxic to you, and you're not already allergic to nuts, odds are it'll kill you. Okay, the power of the mind is, pardon the pun or the repetition, but it is mind-boggling. Through sheer willpower, you can bring your body back into health and so much more. Okay, one of the biggest things I have found people run into is they'll tell me, I've talked to all kinds of professionals, they've given me all kinds of tools. What makes this one different? Well, here's what makes it different. Virtually every practitioner you go to will tell you it takes, you do this and it'll come in together easy. Okay, I'm going to sit here and tell you, number one, it's not easy. Things that are easy have a tendency of falling short of expectation. Okay, but what is a very real issue is when you're taking a look at it, when I tell you it's going to take work, I tend to look at outside time frames. Okay. If you've got a bad habit, the average time frame is approximately 3 weeks to either break a habit or start a new one. Now, why would you want to start a new habit? Well, I don't know, if your habit is putting things over and putting things off. And Philip, you are in with honorable mention. Yeah, the thing is, what I've found with a lot of people is if things come too easy, number one, there's a catch that far outweighs the benefit. Okay, like for instance, how about if we try this one? Oh, there's this great pill. It'll help you drop 40 pounds in a month. Now, this is fantastic. Great. You may well do it. I tried one like that. It took me 3 days to figure out it was a bad idea. Because 3 days after starting it, I ended up with a severe heart attack. Okay, not a good thing. I threw the medication out. Because what they don't tell you is, yes, it may well cause you to drop 40 pounds, 10 pounds a month, 10 pounds a week. You may drop it like there is no tomorrow. But remember, all of that toxin has to go through your kidneys or your liver. And in all fairness, I don't know which one, and it's probably both. But you're going to be overtaxing your body. However, if you target a weight drop of 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a week, it will take you a lot longer to drop the weight, but you're still looking 4 to 6 pounds a month. At 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a week, you're looking at 5 months. Nope, that's not quite right. You're looking at 60 weeks, which is, I'm doing well. 7.5 months to drop 60 pounds. Now, realistically, it did not take you overnight. You didn't get to that weight overnight. Absolutely agree there, Joseph. Yeah, I'm just going up above you just a little there, Joseph. Phil's gone. Fatal pills and take the most weight off, but not a good thing. No, and I've tried enough of the fatality things. But Joseph says replacing a bad habit with a good one is the easiest way to shake a bad habit. Joe, how are you doing? Glad you could join us. Now, the thing is this. You've got a physical body. Your health has got to be a primary concern. Okay? Even beyond the health of your kids. And I know that sounds really backward. Do everything for your kids. Put them first. You die, you're not doing anything for your kids. That's a reality check for you. Now, with this in mind, remember this neat little trick. You focus on the word heal. Your body does not require, your mind does not have to know what's wrong. Your body already does. Okay. And when we take a look at your body, okay, now, what have we got going on here? Oh, that's the easy part. Philip has asked, what's a good habit that replaces anxiety? The habit to get into, ultimately, LA, this is correct. Okay, the trick to it, LA Moon. Yes, you are, Valerie, but no problem. The trick to it is this. Mindfulness is the key. But what you do is you look at everything you're starting to get anxious about. Okay, you ask one question. Am I the cause of it? Did I do something that could functionally cause it? Okay, now let me ask you this. And I'm going to ask you directly there, Philip. What is if you can put it under one category, what is the biggest thing that you find, or one of the most prominent things you find you gain that you draw anxiety on. Because I'd like to give you a direct tool. As soon as I know that, okay, once I know what the primary is, we can get into specifics. Okay. Much as I do agree with you, Joseph, what we got? Okay. If the reality is this, Philip, if you're trying to cure it all at once, you're in trouble. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to pick a single, you're going to have to pick a target. Now, number one, when you're looking at human people, I find I don't deal with crowds well. If I'm working, I don't have a problem. It's a distraction. One thing that I will tell you does work, and start this tonight. Okay, as a matter of fact, start this while we're on the air, as in now, in your mind's eye, and you can call it your imagination if you'd like. There's no problem with it. It's going to work just as well. Okay, in your mind's eye, surround yourself, your whole body, in a bubble of white light, as though you're standing inside a soap bubble, if you will. Okay, that will protect you from the negative ambient energy. Just simply people being around you. Okay, that will protect you from their negative energy. Right, then you surround that bubble with mirrors facing away from you. Have you ever seen a crystal, like a Christmas ball that is just mirrored outside? Okay, this is what we're talking about. You surround yourself with this bubble with mirrors facing away from you. What this does is it takes that negative energy that other people are generating, and when it hits the mirror, it transmutes it into positive energy and fires it straight back to the sender. Okay, picture, if you will. Oh, I don't have here. Picture, if you will, a geodesic dome with really, really tiny windows. You're standing inside it, though. Now that will reflect back the negative energy other people generate. Okay, and it will transmute it into positive energy, so they're feeling better at the same time. Okay, then we do one final step. You run really thick, healthy roots right from the soles of your feet straight to the core of the earth. This will bleed off the negative energy you personally generate. Things like self-doubt, self-recrimination, self-regret, self-reprisal. You get the picture. It will take all of those and draw them out of you. Net result, your anxiety is going to drop. Now, the nice part about this is you don't have to necessarily believe it. You just have to be aware of it. Okay, that will help bring it down. Now, we're going to come back to that as time goes on. But hopefully that helps, Philip. And for that matter, anybody suffering from the same. Okay, bear in mind, I'm hanging down there. I leave a bill. If it's more than a quarter full, I walk out. Okay, I won't even stick around most of the day to break it. That particular visualization I just described is exactly what I use. Okay, it suffices me the ability I have to. And rest assured, this trip to Reno in a couple of weeks is going to require that kind of focus. Now, going back here, Joe is going, I gotta stop spitting when I talk. I can't help it. What you'll find, now, I don't know the herb. I don't know what the medicine is. I do know what the problem is. Okay. The problem you're having, Joe, in case you hadn't noticed, it's the same one I have in a sense. Okay, you're producing way too much slime. Now, I do not know the medical cause of what is bringing the saliva levels up. But one thing you can do is pace your speaking so you swallow a lot in between time. This will remove the saliva and put it back inside your abdomen instead of all over the neighborhood. Okay. Now, of course, if you're just drawing up a hork and you're spitting at people, that's a discipline problem. But I suspect you're referring to you're talking away and spittle's just coming out. But what you'll have to do, and there is an herb that you can use. Now, I'm going to turn to the one person I know that understands herbs that's in this room now. Kelly, do you by any chance know of an herb or either a food or a medication that reduces saliva production without actually crippling it? You know, the reality is, I just plain don't. Now, I'm looking at this. I'm just taking a look to see what else we got going on here. You know, the reality is that the first thing you got to realize, whatever the illness, you've got to accept that it is possible to reduce this, you know, to overcome the illness. Okay, but you're going to have to do the work. Now, absolutely, prayer will help. If you are of the mindset that you're going to pray, and that's where you draw your strength from, absolutely go right ahead and do it. Plan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, now I gotta assume that if you're going by the name Plaid Koala, I've got to presume that you're down in Australia somewhere. Just because I'm nosy. You know, and yeah, LA's just going, don't chew gum or tobacco is first up. If there's a bad tooth, have it looked at. Those are the first signs of crime that come, and the first thoughts that come to mind. Oh, a bonus. Yeah, in all fairness, there, Plaid. You know, I'm up in Kelowna, BC. I love the marsupials. You know, and you know, you take a look at koalas, and I get a kick out of them because everybody, what they don't realize is that koala bears are insanely vicious when threatened, although they are really neat and fuzzy. You know, the reality of it is when you've got something that is off kilter, remember, whatever is offset with your body, And we are back. Just adding something in here. There we go. What do we got? Oh, there are a lot of carnivores, cute and cuddly little carnivores. You know, that's the neat part. When you're looking at correcting anything that isn't running smoothly, whether we are talking about a dietary problem, a mental misfire, okay, an illness, maybe you've got a break. It doesn't matter. Like maybe you've got intestinal blockages. They are all referred to as dis-ease. They are a dis-ease. Something is out of whack. And this is why we take a look at the whole picture, not just the little things. Okay. One of the biggest things, I do appreciate the corroboration there, LA. For those of you not in that room, okay, Phil was just stating that he was looking at audiobooks and came across one about flesh-eating bunny rabbits. Right. And he goes, speaking of cute vicious. So I just turned around and asked him, I just mentioned, Monty Python wrote that, eh? And of course, LA Moon comes in and goes, yep. The reality of it is, this world is full of dichotomies. Now, here's one that I just love. Okay. Yes, I get up and walk around. That's all I love. Okay. But if your office, your primary workspace is not clear of clutter, you will find. So what we do, you desire to get your life back on track. You desire your health back on track. Vorpal rabbits are absolutely. By the way, what we did find out, complete sidetrack, but we gone down a real whack road. I did find out years ago playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons that a monofilament mesh is a really angry dragon. Of course, you do require magic to pull that off. But what we are looking at is a simple issue. We get your energy level goes up, your health goes up, your focus goes up, your cognitive capacity, aka your thinking, goes up. These are all interconnected. Okay, everything we talk about is interconnected, and we are back. Philip, I cannot tell you about tickling a fire-breathing dragon, but I had an 8th level fighter. Didn't think it through. Ended up facing a red dragon, and when the red dragon went to inhale, I didn't think. I grabbed sneezing powder and fired it up into his nose. This resulted in a bad outcome, as in all 3 of his fire blasts went off at the same time. There was nothing left of me. No, the reality of it is, if I let my energy run too high, I will short out electronic systems. Thankfully, I have not come into a situation that I'm aware of where I've interrupted somebody's pacemaker or a plane. Although decades back, I did end up in a verbal confrontation that all evidence pointed towards knocking a satellite out of alignment, a communication satellite to be exact. You can join us. And yeah, my day's been rather, my weekend went well. Got a lot organized, got a real clear head on my shoulders now what I'm aiming for. But when we are talking about healing, when we're talking about self-healing, the first thing you got to do, well, one of the first things is correct the energy flow. Okay. In other words, if your house is, if your area, your primary living space, your primary workspace, Joseph goes regarding the saliva content. He goes, it's counterintuitive, but drinking more water helps. Now, my problem is, given the amount of coffee I drink, I may have a bit of an issue drinking more water. Of course, I don't actually have coffee today. I already went through 2 pots, so I can't see the point in having another one. But I got water here. I got fruit juice here. That's pretty much where it ends. But I do agree with you there, Joseph, that it is somewhat counterintuitive. But, the reality is, when you find something works, it may be counterintuitive to start with. But this is one of those things where you Well, we are having fun tonight, aren't we? The reality of it is this, okay? When we are looking at getting your body running properly, anything at all that is wrong with it is a dis-ease. Something is out of sync. Now, so many people have told me that cancer is a new illness, essentially. Well, I guess it depends on your definition of new. Because researchers about 5 years ago, I believe, discovered cancer in dinosaur bones. I'm thinking this means it's not all that new, personally. Now, we go back up here, see if I missed anything. Not by the look of it. Oh. Okay. Now, I'm just checking on that. The thing is, you take a look at the work area you're in. Get the clutter out of the way. It will help clear your mind. The more clear your mind is, or the clearer your mind is, I came out well, the easier it is to get your body working properly. Okay. Now, I mean, I've got my desk is always on the go. But that's the first thing. Now, here's another one for you. And this I know works. I don't have it listed right now, but I will put it. For some of you, it'll be easy. I do. That is exactly what we are saying, Philip. And this is not what the scientists will tell you. This is what I'm going to tell you. Cancer itself is a naturally occurring organism in everybody's body. It is designed to take out damaged cells. However, with the amount of toxins that mankind is producing, quite often that little curative and preventative tool in your body goes into hyperdrive and wipes out everything. Now, intriguingly, when you learn how to control your body, you can be diagnosed with cancer. I'm not kidding you. If you get diagnosed with cancer, by the way, talk to the doctor, find out what methods they recommend. Because I'm telling you, there are few people that can take a look at it and go, and the doctor says, oh, you've got this illness. There are very few of us. Okay, Bell the Truth, how you doing? I honestly have no idea. I know free radicals are part of the chemicalogical configuration. I have no idea where they fit in. When I look at the term free radicals, I think of people that are really that are really extremists and not locked up. Although I don't think that's what you're referring to. You know, I am not a scientist by any functional means this time around. What I can tell you, though, is your body absolutely can cure virtually everything that it can create. It just needs a little bit of guidance. Okay, now, when I say just about, I don't know if you can cure being blown apart. I do know that death can be overcome. I'm living proof of it. Okay, you know, one of the biggest things that I find is this. Whether you believe you can straighten your system out, or you believe you can't. In either event, the odds are you're going to prove yourself right. Absolutely. Absolutely there, Joseph. Joseph just saying that some cancers respond to shark cartilage. Absolutely. There are herbs out there that work. I am just not the one to ask about them. Okay, because I do not have any functional grounding in it. What I do know is that once you find something that does work, it's time to start working on it. Okay, the nice part about it is that there is an old saying that goes, everything in moderation. Renee is just saying, building your immune system with keeping the cancer cells to a minimum, doing that proper work. Yes, that is exactly. They already have a purpose. Okay, the cancer cells have a purpose. They just need guidance. Picture, if you will, them being little children, really enthusiastic to do the job. They require guidance. You've got to be the one going, okay, we don't require the lung destroyed. This is just a bad idea. Okay, if you got to destroy something, go down to the bowels or down into the intestine and break down the excess. Okay, All your body requires is direction. You've got the capacity to do it. Okay. What we are taught, however, is that you can't. You know, we are taught without modern medicine, we can't heal. Tell me, do I look dead? Just a curiosity. Oh, wait a minute. I really am dead. I am just purely CGI, right? But I'm good. Yeah, I really am. I am one of the best CGI programs you've ever seen. Okay. And the reason I say that is because I walk out of my house. Out of my house. Yeah, I've got a house now. It's a new thing. I walk out of my house without a booster pack on me, and I can interact with the physical world. Okay, I'm good. I also have this funny little idea. I've got this funny little idea that I don't have to believe what everybody tells me. Okay, I was told as I get older, my eyesight will fail. Well, I beat them to the punch. Took a trailer hitch in the eye at 8. Totally decimated the one eye. But when you start watching what you're putting into your system, I mean, realistically, and do I have a bottle around here? Probably not. Nope, but give me 5 seconds and I will. Reason I walked off, guys, is this. First rule of food. Okay. Yes, I drink way too much of this stuff. But if you're striving to get your body back on track, okay, do remember the labels on. No, I'm not going to hold it close enough to you. Okay, that you can read, but check your labels to see what's in it. Look for the ingredients. Now, my parents gave me this cute thought. Never put anything in your mouth you can't pronounce. Problem, I can pronounce most things I look at. Okay, if they're written in English. But something like this, anytime you're buying canned food, there is so much extra stuff put in it that, you desire to eat healthy. Yes, you will still get pesticides and what have you. Absolutely. But you'll get less of them on fresh vegetables than you will in cans. Now, this said, it's time to focus on what you are putting into your system. You desire your body to heal. You got to give it the tools to work with. Or you've got to forget you don't know how to generate the chemicals and the compounds inside your own body. I'm guilty of the same thing, by the way. One of the biggest things I have to look at is this. Again, you don't have to know what is wrong. All you have to know is that your body is off kilter, and your body already knows it. Maybe you're one of these people that goes, I feel great anyway. I love what our screen is doing. That's always looking fun. Maybe you're sitting there going, I feel great. There's nothing wrong. I feel like I could run 100 miles. Meanwhile, your body's going, intestines are blocked, you've got muscle cramps, you're not perfect, you're not feeling great, and the weight on your knees is insanely high. Okay, you may think you're feeling good, and your body's saying they're going, no, you're really not. It boils down to knowing we are in a world full of toxins, and I don't just mean the chemicalogical ones. We are in a world that is chock full of toxins. Okay? For instance, turn on the newspaper. This is a good idea. It's like the young couple that was parked at a stop sign. Cop pulls up beside him and goes, excuse me, what seems to be the problem? And the driver looks at the cop and goes, oh, we're just waiting for the sign to turn to green. You know, one of the neat little things that we got to remember here is whatever your offset is, it can be rebalanced. But you've got to believe it's possible. Okay. Now, the neat little part about all of this is we are looking at a world that as you change your life and you get your health back, you'll be able to interact more readily with those you actually care to interact with. I was talking to a gentleman today that was literally 3 years ago, he was almost permanently reduced into a wheelchair. Okay. He is out walking today because he started turning his own life around, and he got to go out today and jump all over the place, run around with his granddaughter. For him, it was a fabulous thing. From my standpoint, it was beautiful. What we are looking at, okay, is the time for waiting for you to heal is over. Okay. It is time to reclaim power over your life. But not tomorrow, not next week. We're doing it now. Okay. My energy levels are climbing proper at a decent rate. I'm getting things out of the way and getting articles written and what have you. I just wish I knew what I did with that. I wonder if it's here. Of course, my brain's on hold, which is usually a sign that I've got an issue. There we are. Told you I had an issue. Oh. Heck, what is today? Oh, it's the 20th. Sometime this week. Now, this is May's dish. I've just about finished writing June's. May's is about to go out. And just a point in fact is this neat little piece. Where are we here? I'm just looking to see where I actually put it. There we are. Joseph, you sent in an article. Okay. Now I know you can't read it, but there it is. In the May edition coming out within next week. Okay. All I had to do with it, and all I did do with it, was I simply adjusted the alignment on it I didn't even adjust paragraph spacings. Okay. All I did was I turned around and made it fit in the magazine. Okay. So that's where I'm standing on that one. But like I told you, you send the article in. I don't edit it. Okay. I don't censor it. I don't change it. I simply look at it and go, yeah, it's got the right feel to it. It's working on the positive side. It's working on being uplifting. Absolutely. That's why it got in here. Okay. I think this has got to be 10 pages or 11. No, it could be 10. It's either 10 or 12. But 2, 4, 6. Yeah. This is now 10 pages. Okay. I think that June's is going to be even bigger. Okay. But size really in this case does not matter. I'm looking at content and variety and that sort of thing. Okay. Now, I will tell you, let's call up June here. Where are we? June. Yeah, June I'm not done with by any functional stretch. Because it's sitting on 9 pages right now, but I got a whole pile of new stuff to add. So it'll be at least the 10 and probably 11 to 12. I'm telling what I'm doing with Positive Perspectives, with the newsletter, is I'm combining it with Positive Perceptions. And with your guys' help, we can absolutely turn this around. But the thing you got to remember is if you're not content with your life, now is the time to alter what you're doing. Because if you're not content, we can just safely go. If you're not happy with the way your life is going, then the path you have been following, no matter how long you've been following it, it's not working well. So it's time to make some adjustments. Now, where are we? We are there. I'm just looking at the time now. We literally have only just hit the hour mark, which is great. But when we take a look at this, you've got to look in the mirror and go, am I content? Now, some people have said that my hair, I got to do something with it. So I look at them and go, okay, I did something with it. Okay, I'm not a big one on fashion statements. Okay, the way I dress is the way I dress. I am working on upgrading it, but that's because I decided I was going to. You start with the easy part, because let's face it, we go with the concept that the mind, as a matter of fact, where did I just put that? That's going in. I've got a neat little note that I like, these little add-ons I put into the newsletter. Okay. Your workplace, your primary living space, is a reflection of your mind, of the state of your mind. With this in mind, the state of your mind in the workplace, or the state of your mind, is also a reflection of the state of your primary work or living space. Now, let me ask you this: given both of those, which is easier to change? The state of your mind, the way you're looking at the world, or the state of your house or primary workplace, the way the world is looking at you? Okay, which one's easier to change? Okay, mental state or physical? That's the first thing you got to look at. So that will be added into, I think I've got a place in June's to deal with that. I don't know offhand. Well, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And I hate to tell you this, I am not a space cadet, I'm a space case. The reality of it is if you're not content with how your life is going, you're the one that's going to have to do something about it. The question is, are you yourself ready for said change? Are you ready to make the adjustment to your own current life path in order to attain the life goal you desire? That's where we start. Okay, now, understand whatever you're wearing, okay, if it does not make you feel better. Oh, you're more than welcome there, Joe. Joe's just going, thank you for putting my name on the newsletter. The reality of it is that when you guys submit something, if I'm going to add it to the newsletter, and there is some stuff that will be sent in. Somebody sent me a poem, and I'm not posting it. Part of me found it funny, but it was very clearly an adult-oriented poem, or not poem, rather joke. Okay, it's not I don't like adult-oriented jokes. I appreciated the joke. I'm just not about to post it. Will goes, I feel great. I just woke up from a 4-hour power nap. I'm not quite certain how that works as a power nap. I mean, that's more sleep than I get in a night. I usually sleep for 2, maybe 3 hours if I'm going for a whole night. If I'm taking a power nap, for me, it's a half-hour nap and I'm up and on the run. But I am quite happy you're feeling good. Not exactly. Oh, sheep. I have to answer this. Hello. Hello. Oh, I missed it. Okay. Today is not Friday. So what I'm going to do, because I have to, I'll be right back. Okay. Certain calls I kind of have to deal with. Yeah, definitely do, Joe. The reality is, I'm sure I've been sending it. It's just a question. Let me just take a peek. Because I don't like that you're not getting it, which means I've got to have a problem with mine. Gosh, I mean, the alphabet. Forgot which way they work. That's an interesting setup. Yeah, if you want to, even if an idea there, Joe, if you've got me. Oh, Joe, if you have me on Facebook, which I think you do, drop me a line with your current email, if you'd be kind enough to do so. Let me just take a peek here. I'm pretty certain that we've got you in here. Where are we? Okay. Oh. That is not what I was aiming for. There we are. I don't know what just happened there. Oh. Hopefully this is right. The reason I do this is because I just like making absolutely certain that I keep on top of things. Otherwise, I get totally scrambled. Okay, what did I just do here? But that is not what I needed. That one. Oh, I think that's what we're referring to, but that's okay. Anyway, that's enough for the sidetrack thing. Okay, Joe, I just dropped a note to you on Facebook so we can get this mess straightened out. Let's get back here and see what we're up to. Oh, heavens there, Philip. The Dark Lord of the Forbidden Realm. No, I was actually verbally attacked by a young lady the other day. And I don't know what she was yapping about, but I know what she was yapping about afterwards. She all of a sudden comes and she comes running over to me and she looks at me and goes, "There's a place in hell for people like you." I looked at her and I says, "Yeah, they call it the throne." You know, a friend of mine, he told me flat out that he couldn't go to hell because Satan still got a restraining order against him. You know, so there's all kinds of little complications. But what we have to realize is that no matter how we do it, actually, I know how to solve that problem, sort of. The thing that we have to realize is that whatever is off kilter with your system, you personally have the ability to correct it. And the easiest way to correct it is and it's going to sound really, really backwards. All you have to do to get back on track, it's not quick, but it is the fundamental backbone. Forget you do not recall how to heal. Once you forget you do not know how and do not recall how, your body will start to heal. Because all of a sudden, you remember. Because remember, you forgot you don't know, so now you remember you do know. It's a trade-off. Now, Woo, when we're talking about neck adjustments, I got to ask you, do you do your own? Okay. Oh, who do we got here? No. Do you do your own neck adjustments? Or do you go to a chiropractor? Okay. And no, I'm not about to show you guys how to do it. No way in heck am I going to pull that one off. Because that'll certainly get me in trouble. The difficult part in all of it is that when you believe that you have to rely on everybody else to straighten your system out. Joe, that'll work beautifully. Some people I've ended up sending the newsletters through Messenger. Okay, but I'm going to drop you a line on Facebook anyway to make sure I've got that, or on email anyway to make certain of it. But I absolutely desire you to get the last one, which is, now that's April's you're missing, right? Because May's hasn't come out yet. That's why you won't have got it. The neat part about all of this is the moment you realize that you have the ability to heal your own life, to get the energy in your house running smoothly, the faster things can come into balance for you. Yes, absolutely. If you naturally rely on doctors, keep going. Let's face it, they need to learn, and they need to learn from somebody. Okay, that's the important factor, is you've got to realize every one of us can heal. Okay. Every person I know can heal. Okay, it's a question whether you believe it's possible. And this is why I've mentioned before, when your mind can conceive it, in other words, when you can imagine being fully healed, and your heart can believe it. Okay, and there it is right there. Thank you so much there, Storm. Okay, you can achieve it. The moment you believe and accept the fact that you are capable of doing it, it sets the stage to make it happen. Now, there's going to be somebody out there that takes this to an extreme. Oh, Keith said I could heal, so I don't need to go to a doctor. No, Keith said that you have the capacity to accelerate your healing. But I'm telling you, the odds of you actually doing it overnight, not good odds. Okay, yes, I healed a broken arm. My broken arm I healed in 9 days. A dislocated knee I'll do in 30 seconds. Okay, I know people, they pop a knee out of a joint, it will take them 2 months to be able to walk properly. And apparently that's normal. So you do have to know what your limits are. What are you capable of? If you now, bear in mind, if you are absolutely certain you can fly, as in physically pull a Superman stunt in real time, if you're firmly convinced of that, absolutely give it a shot. Go to a curb, that thing at the edge of the road, wait for all the traffic to be gone, jump off the curb, you're jumping off the curb, you got 6 inches or 4 inches or something like that. But if you don't fly, you're not going to break anything. Maybe your pride. So it is now time to really take a look at things and go, how are we going to change this? Well, the first thing you have to realize is that it changes by you believing, first of all, it's possible. And second of all, by making the effort. Okay, now where are we here? Well, let's hit recycle or refresh there. Okay, that's a whole pile. I got all kinds of messages coming. Okay. What am I missing here? I'm looking at that. Oh, I know what I did. I know exactly what I did wrong. No, I didn't. You just broke it. Oddly enough there, Joe, that is literally the email address I've got here. However, I will fire it off again tonight anyway. Because clearly there's an issue. Where is Joe? Hello, where are we going? There we are. That's actually the email I've got. But I'll send another one out today anyway. This is one of those things. See, you got to remember when we are talking about healing the whole person, I mean all aspects of it. Okay. Nathan, how you doing? Yeah, I'm glad to see you could drop in there. I'm guessing you're not working. Well, obviously you're not working tonight. It's the weekend. But, the reality, so guys, that, Nathan's link has been posted. Drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up. Come out and subscribe to the channel. Okay, and then share the daylights out of it. Because Nathan's got a lot of really good topics he deals with there. This is one of those neat things. Obviously things didn't lose at that time. Part of the problem definitely is my energy is running a little high. Okay, still working on bringing that under control. Funny part about it is the more I get things cleared out, the faster my energy is likely to cycle, which could have some interesting side effects. You know, the intriguing part of the whole 9 yards here is if you are not feeling like everything in your life is running smoothly, now, not next week, now is the time to start changing it. Elaine, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, I mean, we can look at it and go this way, but I don't have time to do it right now. Bad news or good news, I don't know. When we talk about doing it right now, let's say you postpone making an adjustment to your lifestyle. Let's say you wait for the next 2 months. Okay, because you just don't have time to get to it. 2 months down the road, you finally get to make that adjustment. When you make that adjustment, you are back in the here and now. Okay, because nobody ever does anything in the past. Nobody ever does anything new in the future. Everybody does it in the here and now, in the present. One of the things we have to remember is that when you're making adjustments to your life, it is critical that you realize that you're the one that has to do more than think. Okay. Now, I've shown this to people a lot. Okay, because I get told, oh, thinking about doing something is as bad as doing it. Well, I will tell you, if thinking about doing something is as bad as doing it, you guys are in serious trouble. Because the birth of the wolf pack, this whole Ilderbachian Chronicle, is focused on, it's built around the concept that civilization as you know it has collapsed. There we go. I've thought about it, so that's as bad as doing it. You guys are in serious trouble. Okay. Of course, I've also imagined the idea that I'm immune to civilization collapse. So I don't have to worry about it. Okay. But you got to remember, changing your reality, changing the state of your life is not done by passive aggression. It is done by focused effort. And this is why many of the tools that we talk about here, okay, and I'm going to get a bunch of writing done tonight, but it turns out I am going to be a little occupied. Now, here's a neat little plug. Okay, and where are we? See, I did that phone call I just got was actually from Dave. From Dave Scott of Spaced Out Radio. Okay, so here is the link. Okay. Here is the link to Dave's show. Drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, absolutely give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. The reason I tossed that in is because the phone call I just got, and I did get an apology from him. Okay, he forgot I was actually on and picked up the phone and phoned. I'm going on Spaced Out. Okay, I'm going on Spaced Out Radio tonight at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Pacific, that is. Okay, at least as far as I understand it. Now, Elaine goes, I believe what's meant by that is if you dwell on or think of something long enough, good reason or bad, the subconscious will make it happen. Ultimately correct, Elaine, but here's the thing. That will that we're talking about, that desire to create something, you are not up against just your own belief. You are up against the belief of 8 billion other people and all of the other species, plant, animal, elemental, all of them. You're up against all of their will. when you're looking at changes to the on a bigger scale. When you're looking at your own body, you're just up against your own belief structure. Now, Philip is asking, have you imagined human-eating werewolves? Absolutely. Matter of fact, I've met them. Yeah, Storm goes, not that, Philip just asked, have you imagined human-eating werewolves? Absolutely. I've even met them in person. Okay. Now, of course, there's this neat little question. Well, if they're human-eating werewolves, then why wasn't I eaten? I taste bad. I don't know, bad BO. But no, the Ilarian are what you would call a werewolf, but not the werewolf that Hollywood goes, I'm going to bite you, you're going to become a werewolf. That's a whole other ballgame. But Storm is just adding, not that, Philip, but I have imagined a world where jack wagons, well, let's see what that says, where jack wagons have to eat their words every night. I think that's kind of an interesting take on it. The neat part about it is this. When you're dealing with your imagination, absolutely put it to use. Yeah, and you will find, ultimately, Elaine, what you're going to find is that you're absolutely on the right track. Elaine was just saying, I've been actually doing research about the subconscious being the hub of our motivation. Ultimately, it is. Okay, but here's the kicker to it. Every thought you have, every drive, every desire starts in the etheric plane up where you would refer to as your soul. From there, it trickles into the brain, gets to the subconscious first. Then it gets to either the brain or the heart. Then it'll get to the other one. Now, that said, this is where the concept, when your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, you can achieve it. Procrastination, on the whole, has done absolutely jack for getting anything accomplished. It's been absolutely jack. So what we're looking at is an interesting situation. Okay. Once you get your mindset on something, it's going to take, and I will give you this. I'm going to give this to you in one of the newsletters anyway, and other postings. But here is the actual formula, and I've never seen this formula fail. Okay. The actual formula for success: belief plus focused effort equals success. In other words, when you believe you can do something, you work out a plan, 15-minute to half-hour packages, and you start in on them. When you do that, you will succeed at what you're aiming for. It will take time. I'm laying odds on it. Okay, but you've got the capacity to make it happen. One of the most difficult things we have to look at in this world is that we are the society around the globe has been convinced that the world, that we are doomed to suffer all kinds of travesties, all kinds of complications, all kinds of shortages. I don't buy into it. Okay. I just said, no, that's not going to be part of my reality. Don't get me wrong. This world is a mess. But here's the thing. Let's say you start turning your life around and you smooth out the edges in your life and you pass that information on to your neighbor and they straighten out the hiccups in their life. Every one of the tools that I offer here, okay, Every one of them is contained in the books that I'm writing. Okay. As in, believe in yourself and follow your dreams. This literally helps you rebuild that outlook on yourself that says, yes, I can do it. Now, if you're my age and you think back, I think it was in the 1980s, there was a funny little show called You Can Do It, Butt and Duffy Moon. Okay. And Ellie goes, yes. The subconscious sees the written word and grabs it and says, yep, that's what we're doing. Okay, let's go. It does seem to work that way. I tell you, LA's just going, writing seems to activate it. What I found is it helps immensely in getting it focused. Because once I put it on paper, this is why I use a hard copy calendar, so that I can put the information on paper. I lost the bottle cap. That's just terrible. Ow, that was painful. I use a desktop calendar to ensure I stay on the right path. Okay, and thus far it's working rather nicely. But the neat part is when you get focused, like these books, I'm getting very close to finishing the third one of it. But I've shown you this before. Like I said, I write a number of books, and I'm reading 3 at the same time. I am approaching the halfway, 4th volume of the encyclopedia. I'm at the quarter mark through a full-size novel my brother wrote, and about 20% of the way through the Bible. Now, the reality is, no, I'm not going to start pulling out the Bible and going, oh, read this passage here. Not a prayer. On the other hand, I wonder if I've got it here. Where did I put it? Memory's good. Oh, did I not put one? I don't think so. Because I've got to do one here just on principle. I do not. So, that tells me one thing I got to put on this list. Because I've got an excerpt that's got to come. That I've got to put together, pull out of one of the novels. Because I do that. They're just little excerpts from the books I'm writing. Okay. And yeah, they'll be pulled out of context, absolutely. But when you put them all together, some of the stuff that goes on, I am a firm believer that the more entertainment, the more enjoyable we can make our own life, the better off our energy is going to run. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, LA. It's kind of funny because a lot of the messages that I talk about here, the Wolfpack, which is an extremely violent little group, they still they are post-apocalyptic. Okay, but you got to understand, these people did not all come from the same time frame. But you'll have to read the story to figure out where they all came from. But they are here to do a simple thing. The same thing, by the way, that I am working on here. Okay, I came to this world to remind people one simple issue. Working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Okay, and one of the biggest things that you got to realize is you've got the power, regardless of what anybody has told you. Okay, I mean, literally anybody. You've got the ability yourself. You may not remember it, but you've got it buried in you. The way to change your life for the better, to improve your life state. But it's going to take some work. Okay, this is not something that's just going to happen overnight. The nice little part about it from my standpoint is this. Okay, if you want a whole pile of negative information, there are a staggering number of magazines, newspapers, newscastings, podcasts, religions. There is a staggering array of people that you can go and talk to and get totally depressed. Okay. Now, I look at it, when I snapped my arm, I was not happy. Okay. That was very uncool. But it did tell me that, not fun. Let's not do that again. I will tell you, I don't desire another heart attack, and I'm certainly not going to set myself up for one. But I am, with the guidance of other people. Oh, by the way, for those of you that heard, I was looking at maybe getting a juicer. But turns out my son already had a blender. So I don't have to go and buy one. We're just going to use the blender and work with it. I honestly don't know what I'm having stuff yet. Quite honestly, in my case, I've eaten way too much. I actually had a bowl of cottage cheese and pineapple and crushed pineapple for dinner just before I got on here. Okay, probably a good thing, bearing in mind I get done here at 6:30, and at 8 o'clock I've got another show to do. And like I said, all somebody has to do, if you want me on your stream, all you got to do is contact me and we'll arrange it. Okay, this is one of the advantages of having a static point. Now, the neat little part, when we start looking at your world, what do we got here? Will's going, nice, we're having chicken. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, the neat part is, well, Elaine, I really appreciate the corroboration on that. I told my eldest son that I was looking at getting a juicer, and he goes, no. He says, I've got a blender, that's all you're getting. He says, just like you. He turned around and said, they are more trouble than they're worth. They waste so much of the stuff. He says, no, we get a blender. And I told him, I said, I don't like yogurt. He said, so you make a smoothie with milk. What, Elaine, pray tell, is a Wagyu steak? I mean, I know what a Ragu steak would be, but I don't think that's quite right. But I'm looking at the whole thing, going, I know I've got to improve my eating. Okay? I mean, there's one thing I can't improve. I'm still going to have to put the stuff in my mouth. Okay? But I am absolutely convinced that I can remember the combination of building blocks to rebuild my teeth so I don't have to get them replaced. Of course, it'd probably help if I stopped drinking Coke altogether. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah Lane. For me, I find, for me, it really boils down to this. When it comes to steak, like I keep getting told by people, you got to quit eating meat. I got news. Most of the human race, your body has to have red meat protein. You are still an omnivore. And I do know, well, I don't think that's going to go over well. Well, let's face it, Philip. First of all, wombat isn't Japanese. We got to start there. Wombat is Australian, I believe. Although they are a really neat critter. Nasty as all get out, but not nearly as bad as the Tasmanian devil. See, that's handy there, Lane. Lane goes, so I got amnesia total texture control that does better with veggies than juice does. Okay, see, the neat part about it, from my standpoint, is I'm absolutely enough. Just about had a conniption a few months back. You know, I desired a Friday sandwich. Talk about going sideways down the weirdest culinary taste. I decided I wanted a Friday sandwich. Well, the problem was I got the egg cooked. I'd run out of toast. I'd run out of bread. I didn't know it until I went to make it. So I had the egg totally cooked, ready to go. I desired a sandwich. Well, I didn't have any bread. So I went scrap it. I had a couple of oversized oatmeal cookies. Okay. They were about the size. When I say oversized, I mean they were about the size slice of bread. So I took 2 cookies about that big around, put the egg on top of them. Okay. Put the egg on top of the sand of the cookie. Put the other cookie on top. My fried egg sandwich. Yeah. Valerie goes, I had to do a salad today because I had an ice cream floating yesterday. It's all about the balance. When I first did that, I thought you had wrote that you had a salad today and you put ice cream on top of it, which I'm thinking is an odd mix. Okay. And I'm not wanting to knock it. My cousin used to swear ketchup and ice cream. I tried it once. Just take my word for it. Don't try it. I mean, yeah, I don't care. It's not poisonous, but it is wrong. It's not a good taste. The neat part about it is when we start working together, we start communicating. Yeah, that's what I understand. We're going to be looking into. I was actually handed another recipe for carrot, tomato, and beet juice. Okay, and apparently I'll be able to do that without too terribly much trouble, providing I go to the grocery store and get the carrots, the tomatoes, and the beets. So I am going to be doing that more. We've got the blender now, so we're looking into that this week. But when we are looking at healing, it is not just about the physical body as far as what are you eating, but it is a rule of thumb. Okay, if you put less calories into your body than you're burning, you will drop weight. Okay, when it comes to the action, Emperor, how are we doing? Glad you could join us. Yeah, the biggest problem I think I can do a thing about this Emperor is my energy is run high. Now, Storm is having it, and he's doing a heck of a job back there, trying to keep my energy is running the line, and I can't get any further away. But that part is key. The higher my energy runs, and no. Well, it was something I desired to have, so I figured, what the heck? I mean, it depends on if you like it. We are back. Yeah, Valerie. If you, I know you said don't give me ideas. Sorry, that's kind of like an open invite. But if you like jam and you like raisins, I stumbled across what I consider a really good, a really good meal, real tasty one for me, and that is a jam sandwich. Your choice of jam. I've tried it with strawberry, raspberry, marmalade, grape. But you take a jam sandwich, in other words, bread. All you put in it is jam. Scrap the peanut butter, and then you put a layer of raisin between it. Put it together. Now you've got a sandwich. Okay, different is all get out, but I find it enjoyable. Of course, I'm twisted. But when we are looking at healing, one of the biggest things I've got to figure out, and I keep forgetting to do it, is I'm going to have to go and see if a grounding line will actually help. I don't know if it will. Okay, considering the fact that I've been known to short cars, it may not. Well, interesting, Danton. The suppressed tech, I absolutely agree with. Okay, I don't mean I agree it should be suppressed. I mean I agree it's happening. Not the least of which is literally a ceramic engine that runs on water that was never released. Okay, and this happens all the time, but it will be fascinating to find out what kinds of tech you've uncovered. I will have to tell you, Nathan, I won't be there tonight. At least I wouldn't bet on it. I might come in late, but I wouldn't bet on it. Okay, simply because of one little detail. I've just been asked tonight to drop in on Dave's show, to actually be on Dave's show, on Space Out Radio, and coming and going online at 8 p.m. Now, I don't know if it's only an hour show or what the story is. My day is just getting busier and busier. Now I've been handed another neat little problem, trying to straighten out 5 local lives all at the same time. The reality is, all I do is offer guidance. I go, here's what's got to happen. And the kicker to it is I'm looking in my life going, what am I not doing? Why are things going sideways? Well, here's the kicker. The reason they are going sideways is literally because I have kept doing the same thing you guys have been doing. Turning to the big companies, the major moguls that, we can do all this for you. They're great at taking money. In my experience, every one of them has cost me thousands and produced nothing. The little companies have come through with flying colors. Okay. And now things are starting to move. Like I've already decided at the end of this year, as my contracts come up, I won't be renewing them. Okay. Because it's just not doing me any good. Now, when we're looking at your healing, okay, first thing you do, and again, like I said, if you're working with your hands, putting your hands together, and you'll notice a similarity here. I keep telling you, put your hands towards each other, but don't let them touch. When people pray, they put their hands together, usually. Okay, now there are those that pray by putting their hands together. You remember as a little kid, you'd put your hands together, you put your elbows on the edge of the bed, and you'd pray, you'd do your prayer to God. Okay, there are some religions that they sit down, that they get down on their hands and knees, and they bow and put their hands and their forehead on the ground itself. Take your pick how you want to do it. Okay, some religions, some spiritual, you grab hands in a circle and link the whole energy field. How you focus is entirely up to you. Just remember, whatever it is you're aiming for, go out and do the legwork to ensure it happens. Okay, absolutely. As a matter of fact, that, like I said, I make notes for what I'm doing so I can remember to do them. Now, people ask with positive perspective, with the magazine, with positive perspectives, to start putting jokes in it. And I'm going to put this out for you. Okay, I don't have one lined up right now. I am looking for, quite literally, an artist. But here's the kicker to it. I'm looking for an artist for jokes. I'm not paying for it. I might just as well be straightforward and say not doing it. But if you're looking to get to do some some art or some comic work, okay, just to get your name out there, absolutely drop me a line and we will discuss it. Okay, but like I said, I'm very clear on, or at least I try to be, I do not pay for the entries because I don't charge to put the newsletter out. Okay, it still costs me because, well, I've got overhead to make it run, but that's being absorbed. Okay, that's just the reality of it. So we're going to be looking at that. I've got a few other things I got to deal with. LA, thank you so much for the reminder. We've just gotten the 15-man heads up. Okay, but like I said, you desire to heal your life. You're the one that's going to have to do it. Absolutely pray to whoever you please. Okay, pray to whatever God, whatever group of gods you'd like to pray to. Hope that the aliens come down to straighten your life out. Pray you get the right ones in a case like that. Because they've been known to wholesale slaughter areas. The neat little part about it is thinking is a great idea. I wish more people did it. This is why I get such a kick out of it. Scientists have gone, we're developing artificial intelligence. I'm waiting for the scientists to develop real intelligence. Okay, or the people, I'm not fussy which. Okay, because this idea, we're worried about the zombie apocalypse. Well, here's zombie apocalypse. Okay, so many people I've seen almost get run over because they're staring at their screen and pushing buttons. And they're looking at the screen, just playing a game or something, walk straight out into traffic. Wonder who that is. Walk straight out into traffic. Now, have you ever seen somebody do that? Have you ever not seen somebody do that? Although I did see somebody here back last summer. I saw somebody, you could not have pulled him over. They could not have accused him of texting. He had the 1970s flashback. And he took a physical street map, spread all over his front window. Okay, he's driving along with the one hand, and every now and again grabs the top lip of the map and pulls it down to look over the map to see what's in front of him. Now, he wasn't texting, but I just don't get why you would do that. I know back in the 70s why we did it. Suicidal. I mean, back in the 70s when I was a kid, right? You would do things like put a map across the front window while you're driving. Oh, you gotta get something from the back of the pickup? Heaven forbid you should stop the car. Just get out and climb in the back. Okay, we used to get out the side door and climb in the back. Or, of course, I'm certain some of you guys remember that neat little idea of bumper skating, right? Car goes by at a reasonably slow speed, run it behind it, grab hold of the bumper on a gravel covered road, and you just hold on and pray they don't stop in a hurry. Yes, some of us got hurt. Okay, now of course I had a bad leg anyway, so I didn't do that to start with. But a lot of people got hurt doing that. But we survived. One of the things we have to look at, that we really have to pay attention to, is that when you're looking at changing your life, do it one step at a time. Now, this is a neat little heads up. Every one of these, okay, this one's believe in your finances and follow your dreams. Every one of these, the reason I say follow your dreams is because there are so many parts to attaining your dreams that these will give you one tool. Well, that was weird. These are each one tool. And I'm going to continue to provide the tools through different aspects, both through here and through positive perspectives. Oh, where are we? Yeah, LA is going, I tractor surf. Set a brick on the accelerator, throw it in third, and stand on the seat. I was always glad my dad hadn't caught that. Yeah, no doubt. I can see where that would be a problem. But the reality is, if you watch Footloose, and they were playing chicken with the tractors, okay, we used to do that. Now everything has been so isolated. Heck, you're not allowed snowball fights at school. Now, I understood why in Comox, where I grew up, why we were not permitted to have a snowball fight. Because in Comox on the island, you would get ice balls, and you could fire them through the front window of a car. Yeah, Elaine goes, we horse surf. Someone pulls you on skis. Yes, I would do it. That's about the only way I'd be bothering with it. Of course, I tried skiing once. Okay. Tried skiing once, and it was great. This was after I damaged my leg. Went out with professionals, got hypothermia. That was fun. Yeah, see, this is the thing. My brother took his kids up to the old sandbanks that we used to climb. And we'd go up a wall like this. Bear in mind, we were on this side of it. Okay. So we'd go up a wall like this on sand. And my brother took his kids down to the beach. And he goes, that's what we used to climb. And the kids go, just to the lip. And my brother would look at him and go, no, we went over the top. The fact of the matter is we pushed our limits. Oh, you should talk to my father. He could have gotten another 60 out of it. My dad used to build race cars. But I see we've got really badly sidetracked. The key to life is this. You desire to live life. You're going to die. That's just the way that's going to go. It now becomes a question of how are you going to live? Okay, because the trick is to find something that catches your attention that you enjoy, that gets you getting up in the morning. Now, and we're not going to go down that road. Now, that said, okay, we are hitting the we didn't. Okay. Now, I will be back tomorrow. Okay. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Okay. We'll be back.